Most languages are just for communication, for talking to each other. But every now and then you find one that's different. One that's designed to be a container for an entire reality, a cosmic truth. Today, we're going to decode a script that was literally built to hold the blueprint of a universe. So let's dive in.
This line comes from their origin scripture, and wow, it really sets the tone, doesn't it? It's so serious, so permanent, and it makes you wonder, what kind of truth is so fundamental, so absolutely sacred, that you can't just write it down? No, it has to be carved into the very stone of reality itself.
So, to really understand the story this language tells, we have to start with the blueprint it's written in. I'm talking about the very specific technical rules of the Nuriyani script. And this isn't just about making pretty letters on a page. This is about establishing the foundational laws of an entire cosmos.
Now, at first glance, this just looks like font specs, right? But these are not just arbitrary numbers. They are a philosophy carved right into the script. The baseline at 0, that's the ground of all being. The x height is the space for the normal, everyday, contained forms. The cap height, that's for reaching, for the grand, expressive ideas. And that join rail, think of it as the cursive highway, the thing that ensures everything always stays connected.
And this is where it gets really cool. This duality is the absolute core of their whole universe. The script's two cases mirror two cosmic principles. You've got the smooth, clean, contained lowercase letters. They represent the field, that deep, still, holding force of reality. And then you have the ornate, embellished uppercase letters. They are the flame, expression, desire, the force that rises up. The entire cosmology is right there, baked into the typography.
Okay, so now that we have those foundational rules in place, let's look at the story this language was designed to tell. We're going to start with the public version, the creation myth you'd hear if you were just visiting the outer temple. In the beginning, there was Náqhira Vveléth, which translates to the velvet field. Now, it's so important to get this. This isn't emptiness, not at all. It's a fullness so total, so complete, that it didn't even have boundaries. It was a silent, deep potential that was already holding everything that would ever come to be.
So the public story describes this really beautiful, gentle creation. It wasn't a big bang, not an explosion, but an inward fold. The field just becomes aware of itself, which creates this soft tension. That awareness creates a little shimmer of heat, which then ignites a single, steady flame. And the field, it doesn't pull away. It embraces the flame, holding it.
And this right here is the fundamental law of that public myth. Flame may rise, the field will hold. It's a vision of perfect balance, total harmony, a really comforting, stable universe, born from this gentle curiosity and containment. But what if that's not the whole story?
This one question, it just changes everything. It shatters that peaceful narrative we just heard. This is the key that unlocks a much darker, way more complex, and maybe a more honest version of reality.
All right, now we're going into the inner chamber. We're talking about the forbidden account, the one they call the veiled curving. This is the story held in stone, the one that's only spoken in whispers.
So get this. Here's the shocking truth. Creation wasn't born from some gentle curiosity. It was a rupture. It was an act of relief from the unbearable pressure of infinite potential. The field was literally suffocating. And the flame? It wasn't some beautiful decoration. It was a wound, a necessary fracture that allowed infinity to finally take a breath. There wasn't a fall, but there was a tremor that shook everything.
And this is the absolute crucial point here. Perfection was a prison. Creation had to be a necessary, controlled break. This totally reframes the whole concept of power. See, true power isn't about dominance or force. It's about the incredible discipline it takes to contain this original essential rupture.
And what's amazing is that this entire complex secret philosophy is encoded into a single, powerful symbol. It's a piece of sacred geometry that is basically a map for how to contain that original wound.
Let's break this down, because every single piece has this profound meaning. The outer circle, almost closed, that's the field, but with a gap, an opening for relief. The inner arc is the pressure folding in on itself. That thin, unconnected vertical line, that's the hidden seam, the controlled fracture. The small, compressed flame is the wound, but stabilized. And that faint little stroke across the middle, that's the veil. It represents the secret itself, hidden in plain sight.
Okay, so you might be thinking, cool cosmic drama, but what does any of this have to do with me?
Well, this whole system isn't just about stars and creation. It's a map for the self. It's about how we manage our own inner universe.
This brings us to a concept called solor, or the law of the slow burn. This is the core practice for your personal life. It's the idea that when your inner flame, your passion, your desire, your drive, remembers the containing field of your own awareness and stillness, it steadies. It doesn't go out, it becomes focused. That is authority through containment, not through brute force.
And their liturgical texts make this connection incredibly explicit and personal. They say our very bodies, our flesh, is the expressive flame. But our pulse, that deep, steady current of life underneath it all, that's the field. And the texts command the speaker to identify with both. I am flame, I am the field.
And this all leads to the final and maybe the most provocative statement from the inner chamber. It suggests that our own wounds, our own fractures and imperfections, they aren't something to be erased or fixed. They are the very things that allow us to breathe, to be alive. The real challenge, then, isn't to be flawless. It's to become the field that holds our own wounds with awareness, with strength, and with stillness. So what would it mean to heal by holding instead of just trying to fix?